Hey, folks. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the 104th episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, the 21st of December, 2023. Only a few more days that I'll get to say the 2023 year. It'll be crazy. I've been writing 2024 on everything for like the last 2 weeks, and I've have to go back and correct it. So like I've already jumped into 2024, I think. So hopefully I'll have that craziness out of my system where everybody writes the wrong year for like the first 2 months. I've been writing 2024 already for some reason. It's because I've been waiting with anticipation for the 2024 election cycle. Yeah, I can't believe all of us have survived, honestly. Just wait. You just started, Joey. Wait until the 30th. And they still act that way. What are we talking about here? Let's see here. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, that's hilarious. Wait until they're 30 and still act that same way. Yeah, I got where you were going with that. All right. Hey, folks. Alva, could you be both? You never know. Okay, let's see here. You guys have been just chatting away in the comments. I love it. We've got a good group of people here. I'm always so happy to see everyone commenting in the comment section. Give me just a few moments here as I continue to get our event shared with the various pages on social media. We've got to get it shared to Twitter. It's shared to Twitter. We've got to get it shared to the various groups on Facebook. There's so much that goes into getting this out to the people, to the public that need to hear these words. Their lives just would not be the same without hearing my amazingly wonderful and unique, that's probably true, voice. I have noticed that I've kind of started dealing with a little bit of that winter time drainage. Started dealing with some of that. Started dealing with some of the throat issues. I'll tell you, for those of you here that
our only new YouTube viewers, for those of you that did not come from the podcast, you'll know that or you won't know, but the longtime viewers or listeners from the podcast days will remember back in 2020, it was during COVID. It was during COVID when I had some kind of weird vocal thing going on. I started swelling and I couldn't swallow, and I literally thought I was dying. I was too afraid to go do anything about it, and I finally went to the hospital. I woke up and I had a fever and I was in pain. It's one of those pains that like you do this when you swallow. You're so afraid to swallow, it hurts. You're like doing everything that you can do to not swallow. You're like, you know, it hurts so bad. I couldn't get water down. And I woke up in my bed and I went downstairs. My brother was here from Texas, and he had been sleeping on an air mattress in the basement. And I went down onto the first flat floor and then into the basement, and he actually moved to the couch, and I slept on the air mattress. And I got up to take some Tylenol, and I threw the Tylenol in my mouth, and I took a drink of water, and it like went back and hit something, and it came back up. The Tylenol came back up, and the water, like, it was like my throat was closed shut. I couldn't get the pills down. And I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. And I was like, my throat's shutting down or something. It was absolutely horrible. And I went to the hospital. I woke up. It was like 5:00 in the morning. I didn't tell anybody what I was doing. I literally just drove. I got in the car, and I drove myself to the hospital. And I walked in, and I just knew they were going to tell me that I was like dying. I knew it wasn't COVID related, but I didn't know exactly what was going on. I have these sinus issues. And I went in, and they told me that I was having a tonsillar abscess. I talk about this quite frequently, but I was in the hospital for like 4 days. It was during COVID, so nobody could come in and see me. It was absolutely horrible. Of course, I'm really freaked out. They like they're always like whispering and things, and they came in and they were like, okay, we're gonna run a camera down inside and look at what's going on. And I was like, you're gonna run a camera down inside? How? Where's that camera? Where's that camera? What do you mean? You're gonna run it down where? And they came in, and the doctor said, open your mouth. And he sprayed this little mist. And then instantly I thought like I had swallowed my tongue. And I'm in there like pressing emergency button. I'm like, help me. Oh my God, help me. And I'm like ringing people. And I'm like, can't swallow. I can't breathe. I can't breathe through my nose. I can't breathe through my mouth. I can't swallow. I got spit and drool pouring out of my mouth. And they're like, it's okay. It just feels like that way. I'm like they had literally, screw waterboarding. They could take that spray and spray that in the mouths of all of the people like in terrorist in prison, and you think that you're dying. And I was like, what is this? And they're like, we're getting ready to run a camera. We got to relax and paralyze your vocal cords and your throat because we're getting ready to run a camera down your nose into your throat. And I'm like, holy shit, that does not sound any good. Like, this is serious what we're talking about here. So, like, I'm freaking out. I'm like just sure that, you know, I'm going to be dead. And I was like literally trying to text somebody, anybody, and I didn't know what I was doing. I was freaking out. And I had like one bar on my phone, and I took this picture. I took this picture, and then my phone died. Look at this. We're not going to hurt each other, are we? Listen, folks, I'm a hypochondriac, like horribly bad. It's very, very bad. Do they use that same spray when they do a colonoscopy? Well, I'm going to tell you a funny story. Tell you all a funny story, because this spray was like a numbing agent. My grandmother, my up there in some age grandmother was having some throat issues a while back, and she went into the hospital, and they gave her a little solution, and she came out of that hospital, and she was like, I could have ran a lap around the hospital. I felt better. I felt like I was 20 years old again. And I was with my grandmother when we went to the doctor. And she went to the doctor, and she was like, I don't know what that is, but I would sure like some more of it. And the doctor's like, well, you were having, ear, nose, and throat symptoms. And they looked, and they just gave you a little solution, a mixture, a medical mixture of cocaine. And I was like, that's the reason grandma liked that so good. Like, grandma's like going to the doctor every other day, coming out now and, gumming it. So yeah, I didn't get the cocaine spray. I got your tongue is going to feel like it's went down your throat, and you're going to be drooling on your self, spray. But I don't want that ever again. I could have died. They were thinking about whether they were going to have to like surgically remove it. I need to have my tonsils taken out. I have not done that yet, but we are where we are. It is what it is. So, but I can tell I'm getting some of that sickness. So it is. You guys will have to put up with it. That time of year. Merry Christmas. Hey, it is the shortest day of the year. Right here. Like, I didn't even need to think about this one. This is just make a black screen and make it look like we've got a light shining on the name, and put the shortest day of the year up there on the screen. Bang! Right there, the shortest day of the year. Matter of fact, we're going to be You mean down or which way? Up or down there, Stumblefoot? We're going to be together when the winter solstice actually happens. Chances are the winter solstice, the actual time, is 10:27 p.m. tonight. So depending on what's going on, we could very well still be together. So I'll keep that in mind. Matter of fact, I will set an alarm on my phone right here for 22:26. 22:26. And we'll do a 22:27 just in case. All right, 1 hour and 8 minutes. I'm sure we'll be together. All right, hey folks. Last night we had a short show. Sorry about that, but I had some things I had to do. Tonight we're going to talk about a couple different things. We're going to be talking about the city of Muncie, the redevelopment committee meeting that took place today. I've watched most of it, and so we've got some interesting thoughts on that. We're gonna watch a really bizarre we're going to talk about a really quick and bizarre mayoral update where we didn't actually get an update, and we're going to deal with the Dream with Dan's, the Danatic review of the everything that Dan is obsessed about over the month. So we're going to watch that. And before we get into that, though, I do want to bring to your attention a very important, very, 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 very important meeting notice that I just got today. And as soon as this thing loads, I will be able to get it up on the screen. This is very important, folks. Why does it keep saying that? Is it going to take? There we go. All right. Here, before we get into the city of Muncie stuff, from Delaware County, bang, right here. Delaware County Tax Abatement Committee meeting. Notice of public meeting. The Tax Abatement Committee of the Delaware County Council will meet on January 9th, 2024 at 10 a.m. at the Innovation Connector, which is a horrible thing, at 1208 West White River Boulevard, Muncie, Indiana. The committee will consider questions relating to the tax abatements approved for the Meadow Forge and Hawthorne Solar emergency projects. This meeting is called to conduct the business of the Tax Abatement Committee in public. So it is a public meeting and is not to be considered a public forum. So they are letting us know there they do not want to hear from the public. They do not want to hear from citizens. They plan to tell us, no, you cannot talk. This is just for us. Which, you know, in my opinion, is stupid. The county does things like this. The city, when they have their committee meetings, they always allow citizen input. I think, you know, there's absolutely no reason why they couldn't allow, you know, space for the Meadow Forge people to talk, space for the Hawthorne people to talk, space for Brad Bookout to talk, and anybody else that wants to come in there in an official capacity. And then it would be nice if they could put a place in that would allow the citizens to speak, seeing how they work for the citizens. And the citizens, you know, are their bosses, but it is what it is. We'll deal with it one way or another. Material regarding the stated purpose of the meeting may be submitted in advance to the committee for its consideration, yada, yada, yada. So here is what this is, folks. And this is going to be, it's going to be live streamed, in my opinion, solely live streamed on our YouTube page here, because of the situation with the innovation connector, because this is not going to be at the city of at Delaware County, at the county building or the Justice Center, I am pretty sure that they do not have the ability to live stream there. I'm pretty sure that they cannot live stream it. But I will be live streaming it right here. This meeting will take place on Tuesday, January 9th, so everyone needs to put this in their calendars. I have shared this on social media, and this has went out to everybody, so hopefully anyone interested will be able to be there. Of course, they're doing it at a very horrible time, you know. The one thing I can say, at least for the county council and county commissioners, when they hold their meetings at 9 a.m., at least, you know, you could take off a couple of hours in the morning. But when you talk about holding a meeting at 10 a.m., let's say that meeting goes for an hour and a half. I mean, you're really talking about having that damn meeting right in the middle of the day. Well, yeah, I specifically think that they were not counting on that, but I will be there. We will have our new microphone system for live streaming, so we will be up close and personal. We will be able to be heard, and things will be wonderful. So there will be no issue. On a county video, where was that at? Stumblefoot, what are you talking about? Someone highlighted. Interesting. Regardless, it's inappropriate because so many can't take off. That's the thing. That's what I'm saying there, Joey. It's absolutely ridiculous because it's in the middle of the day. So, I mean, like, you know, I can see, you know, someone letting you off for an hour or two first thing in the morning. But like this meeting, you're like, okay, I'm gonna come to work and then I need to leave, you know, right in the middle of the day. You know, it's just ridiculous. There's no reason that they don't hold this meeting at 6 p.m. at night. There's no reason that this meeting is not being held at the county building or at the Justice Center, so it can be mic'd and videoed for sound and audio. But, you know, it is what it is. So anyone that wants to watch that said meeting will have to watch it at the Political Spotlight right here on YouTube. Of course, we will prepare that link and we'll share it well in advance so people will know where it's at. So that's very important. Does it really matter what time they hold a meeting? They're not going to let the public speak. That's really a fair statement, Alva. Good luck if an employer would even be cool with taking off, but I digress. Well, that's again, you're very true. Unless your goal is to have as few citizens as possible attend, in that case, mission accomplished, which again is a very fair statement.
But this is specifically regarding the tax abatements. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think the public should be at every meeting. I think the public should have the opportunity to speak at every meeting. So please don't take that to what I'm about to say is like I'm anti-public or something like that, because it's not the case.
Yeah, you're not. I know.
The public really doesn't have anything to contribute to a conversation regarding tax abatement. Not really. They've already done the tax abatement, and the concern was whether it was sustainable with the number of acreage, the amount of acreage that they wanted to put under it and include in that tax abatement. Now they're back down to the 5,000. And I think the question is, are we going to allow the tax abatement at the 5,000 acres, and are we capping it at a certain acreage for tax abatement purposes?
That is very fair. That is very fair.
So, as I said, I'm not anti-public.
No,
Just
I know. I don't think that's good. That is a very fair point. I would also say that this. I don't even think that. I mean, I don't know if Ryan is here. If Counselor Ryan Webb is here.
Ryan Webb commented earlier
But
about winter solstice, so he's
yeah,
here somewhere, or he was.
Yeah, or was. I just want to point out the fact that while what you said about the tax abatement might be at least some of their concern, I don't think it's what the concern of Ryan Webb was. I think what Ryan is looking at this as, and I'm not trying to speak for Ryan, I am speaking for my belief of what he was doing. I believe what he said was he felt that in the first tax abatement presentation, so there was a tax abatement committee meeting just like this. Just like this. A couple members of the tax abatement committee heard from the company or companies and heard from Brad Bookout, and they then heard maybe from Baker Tilly, and then the committee put together a recommendation, and they took that to the council, and the council made a determination also based on whoever spoke at that meeting. And I believe what Counselor Webb stated was that he felt as though he was voting with information that was presented that was not factual. He felt as though he was making a vote a kind of blind, and that he voted wrongly because he felt that he was being presented information that was not factual. So I believe, and tell me if I am wrong, Ryan, that Counselor Webb stated that the reason he wanted to do this, the reason he wanted to have this new meeting, is because he wanted to treat this like this was the starting point. I know technically they've already been given the tax abatement, but I think Webb, from my understanding, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, wanted to treat this as if this is the first time, and they're coming in and saying, here, this is what we're going to do. This is what we want. This is why we need this tax abatement. And then they would take that information back. And then I think Ryan thought that they would either be doing one of two things. Hey, Counselor Ingram, how are you doing, sir? Welcome. Then I think that Webb was saying that when they vote, then they would either vote to take away the tax abatement, to do away with the tax abatement, or I guess vote to keep it, or maybe vote to change it, or something at that point. Now, I think other people have changed that way. Now, in all fairness, maybe the citizens don't have anything to add here. I'm just pointing out when the city and when other government agencies have their committee meetings, they generally allow the citizens to have input, because what this committee will do is this committee will make a recommendation. This committee will take that recommendation back to the council. This committee could say, oh, we don't like this at all. We think that we should scrap this. They could say, oh, we support it 100% and take it back. Or they could say, we don't know what we think. Or they could say any number of other things. They then take that back to the council, and the council as a whole will vote based off what's said at the committee, by the committee. And they could agree with the committee. They could do something totally different than the committee. They could do something far off in left field. So I agree with what Kate is saying 100%. It is what it is. So we'll just have to see kind of what goes on at this thing. I mean, I do agree with what Kate's saying. The major thing that's going to matter. First of all, this meeting is going to be important for anybody that's really concerned about this, because we're going to get to hear with our own ears what's being said, because at the first meeting, we didn't know this was happening. We weren't there. Nobody knew what was going on. This was all behind the scenes, sleight of hand, shh, hush, don't say anything, don't let anybody know kind of stuff. And so we don't really know what was said. And I'm going to say this for the record. I have issued a records request to Delaware County for all of the minutes and the memorandum of the original tax abatement committee meeting, all of the documents that they might have been presented, anything that they were given, and then their ruling, their determination, and what they said to the council. I've asked for all of that. So I've also asked for the ERA that Ryan's talking about, and I've asked for...
Define ERA, please.
I'll get ready to do that here in just 1 second. I've also asked for the information about the $1.6 million amount of money that the county gets if this goes forward. Now, the ERA, what that is environmental revitalization area. Ryan says here, my opinion is that the ERA should never have been declared, which would then void any tax abatement, as an ERA is required to qualify for the tax abatement. And this is very important. And that statement right there, is why, in my opinion, that citizens should be able to speak to the ERA, yes or no. The ERA, the Economic Revitalization Area, is the area of land in which we're talking about, the fields. And when this went through the first time, Brad Bookout told the council that, yep, this land is in need of an ERA. It is totally useless. There's no point in there's nothing we can do on this land, and it's totally, there's nothing that can happen here. Well, why that was a lie, why that's a problem, is because the land in question is good, fertile farm ground. So whoever in the hell thought that this was a place that needed an ERA is doing so for a reason other than a legitimate reason. I cannot wait to hear why that they believe this land is in need of ERA status, because, as Councilor Webb stated, and I've now heard Invenergy's attorneys say on at least 3 occasions, the ERA and the tax abatement go hand in hand. It's my new number one thing that drives me as crazy as hearing Lisa say, I go back and forth. I don't know, something about both of those ladies, when they say those statements, drive me absolutely insane. And that's what that lady does. They go hand in hand. I mean, I thought she was doing the Macarena for a minute. And I thought she needed a tissue because she was crying. The problem here is, as Counselor Webb said, they go hand in hand. And if you do not have the ERA, You cannot have the tax abatement. So if they declare that this good, clean, decent, fertile farm ground is not ERA status, then this is a done deal. There's no tax abatement. If this is not an ERA, there's nothing. It's over. Because they, by law, in order to get the tax abatement, have to have the ERA status. Yes, Alva, absolutely. Absolutely, sir. There you go. There you go, buddy. 1000%. I was told by our attorney that the council has legal authority to grant any area and ERA, regardless of the quality or status of the land, even though what constitutes an ERA is clearly defined. And you know what? While looking through what I've found on it, I believe, Counselor Webb, that he's exactly correct. However, this is where we have to determine as citizens, and you all have to determine as council members, as public servants, if it's your job to do the right thing or not. Because, yeah, if you can declare any area in ERA, well, that's cool. But should you is the question. Should this land be considered unusable and, grotesque and not of benefit to anybody? I think there are tons and tons and tons and tons of people out there that would disagree with that. And so it's one of those things. The law, a lot of times, is the floor, not the ceiling. It's the starting point. It's not the ending point. And you have to decide, is it our job to do? No, it's okay because it's allowed, which is just like governing just good enough. Or do we owe it to the citizens? Do we owe it to our community? Do we owe it to our constituents to do the best job possible? It becomes a moral issue versus a legal issue. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. That's very true. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what happens there. So, that is Tuesday, July 9th, 10 a.m., the Innovation Connector. It will also be live streamed right here. I'm sure we're going to talk about it a whole lot of time between now and then. And I promise you that we will definitely keep you guys informed. Okay. All right. I want to get on now to this Redevelopment Commission meeting for the city of Muncie. What happened? Okay. So, it looks like, for anyone that looks or wants to know, Kate has put the Indiana Code for taxation for the economic revitalization area and all of that over in the comment section, which is very good. I'll have to look through all of that. I've read through some of it. I haven't read through all of it. But I've talked to someone that was definitely in the know that was not Brad Bookout. And from my understanding, I mean, the council has the council, it's in the council's hands at this point. And I honestly think if the council does away with the tax abatement committee, tax abatement, if the council does away with tax abatement, I think we might be in for a little bit of a fight, but I think that the council and the community will win in the end. And I think the council needs to really kind of man and woman up and do the right thing here and not be afraid and not be pushed around. And I think that if we leave it to Piper, we know what she's going to do because she's not a very strong person. Weak of mind and weak of heart. So that's that. Yeah. Yeah. Ridiculous. The attorney. I don't know. She is bizarre. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, going into the redevelopment commission meeting here for the city of Muncie. I want to show you
the 2201 West Godman.
They're adding
resolution that we need to add.
They're adding things to the agenda.
Probably let's make it, I guess the second bullet point there would be a discussion on 225 South Madison.
Oh, well, we'll come back to this.
It is an actionable item.
I want to answer these questions. Yoko says, does declaring a large area of land an ERA reduce the valuation of the county? I would say no. Kate is shaking her head no. Ryan Webb could speak up if he has an input. I would say no. I would say it doesn't. But you've got to think. I mean, like,
all the ERA does is said that this land needs to be developed and opens it up for that possibility on a grander scale and provides for the tax abatements for that area, which makes it more appealing for companies to come in to develop the land. But the land itself, the value of that land hasn't changed, so it shouldn't change the valuation of the county or the assessments on that.
The thing is, I could see it increasing it. It's not going to decrease. It's not going. It's good. I could see it increasing the value of the land.
Right,
but in this situation,
developed.
But in this situation, I could see it actually decreasing the value of the land.
No, because industrial's rated differently than farm. Industrial's 3%.
Okay.
And farm is 2%. That's the caps on it.
Okay.
I think the only difference here is that since it's being rated industrial, it has more of a steady line on that valuation.
Yeah.
Whereas farmland valuation on that comes from the state and it can change periodically.
Fluctuates.
Right. So I think that would be the only difference, is that it's changing the zoning on it, and changing the zoning could possibly change that, but it's going to be an increase because now it's industrial.
That's good. Yeah.
And it sets it in stone what it is.
Yeah, that's good.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. That's
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No. I think that's good. Hopefully they will. I'm sure Bill will know that. Bill Hughes is on the board. Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. And I figure if I start talking about it now, I might have it by February. They don't charge the zoning. Change the zoning, do they? Isn't that why they are called solar farms? Yeah, I don't. Ooh. Yeah. You're right. That's one of the things that they've been saying. That's a good point. Okay. I'm gonna play this Muncie Redevelopment Commission meeting here. because we've got a couple things that we need to look at here. I want to show you.
So
Show you here what we've got.
And
that's the right address. That's the gas station.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I believe we have another one. The 2201 West Godman resolution.
Oh, her voice is like
that we need
music to my
add
ears.
to it as well.
Okay. So we'll make that the third bullet point, and then the sanitary district stuff will become the fourth bullet point. I'm sorry, what was the address again, Shereen?
2201 West Godman.
Okay.
Is that all one motion that someone's making?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay. A motion and second to amend the agenda as outlined. Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Probella,
Yes.
Commissioner Tomlin,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagley.
Yes.
I vote yes.
All right, let's
Thank
get
you.
to the claims.
All right. We have the minutes that were provided along with the agenda.
Really a short list of them
Here
this
we go.
month. Just had some bond payments that came out of 760 and some work from the park or from the 758 fund on some work at the park, Jack's Park and Till Pond. And I think we also had some work on.
This is the Muncie Redevelopment Commission. When it goes back up there, the guy at the podium is the controller, Craig Wright. He's the controller. Here we have some citizens, and then I'll tell everybody who everybody is when we're looking at the count in the commission here in a moment.
The skate park. And with that, with usual utilities, and with that, I'll just open it up to any questions.
I'll make a motion that we approve the claims as presented. There are no questions.
Second.
All right.
Motion is second. Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Probella,
Yes.
Commissioner Tomlin.
Yes.
This is the Redevelopment Commission. And from left to right, on screen left to right, we have Commissioner Pride-Bella. I don't know. I don't really know what his deal is. He's definitely a Dan appointment. Dan Ridenour appointment. He's a big Dan fan. He doesn't stray far from the he does not stray far from Dan Ridenour's wishes. His name is Stephen Pribella. Very, very bizarre. Then we've got Isaac Miller, who is a very pompous and arrogant, like 9-year-old. He used to be a council member for a minute. When it got too big for him, he stepped down and then took another job. But he is still a board member here. Then we've got the president and the guy in the center. That is Jeff Howe, Howe, Jeff Howe. And how he got there, I can tell you he's also a major ass kiss for the mayor. And then Lorraine Tomlin is the woman in pink here. She looks like she just came off of a tour being a backup dancer for Prince, but in reality, she is the sister of Gretchen Cheeseman, the community development director for the city of Muncie. So that's the connection there. And then on the end is the always lovely and completely beautiful, nice soul, spirit, just kind and warm woman, Shereen Wegley. And she is also sometimes better known as the voice of angels. So that's who we have here. She is the mayor's gatekeeper. She is the mayor's assistant. So she has that role in the city administration. Her husband is Craig Wright's deputy controller. So the guy here at the podium, he is the chief controller. His deputy is Shireen's husband. So a little bit of, fun there. And so then there's another one that is a he is a non-voting member, and he comes from I forget where he comes from, maybe Ball State, but he was not there. So yeah, that's the MRC. All right, let's go.
Yes.
Mr. Pavella,
Yes.
Commissioner Tomlin,
Yes.
Commissioner Wagley.
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Wright.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Mayor, you have the floor.
Yes, Stumblefoot, you're
Good
right.
morning.
All right, here we go with the mayor.
So, and I did provide you with the financial status position. So if most of those are very similar to last time. There hasn't been a whole
You're
lot of
right.
activity, but we still have some identified areas. But there's one new one added. The fifth one down, the Delaware Dynamics TIF, it's actually part of the consolidated TIF. But I was on the council when this happened, when we put that together, there were funds, those funds were to be spent, those extra funds from the expansion of the Delaware Dynamic.
Nothing. The simple answer is nothing.
Were to be spent in that particular area. So in and around Delaware Dynamics, as we see opportunities for whatever the MRC chooses, I would like, I know Jefferson is something in need, but also there could be some other opportunities in that area that we can help around 8th and Walnut, and so there are some other opportunities in and around Delaware Dynamics. So you'll see that has now grown to where there's 87,000 and change available for that particular TIF area. So those funds are to be spent in that area. Most of the other the ones after that.
He is an undertaker. His name is Marty. He's here. He's here addressing the MRC.
That, starting with the markets on Madison, those are funds that we've set aside for work that we're doing on those. Village parking garage, the public space. I think for the White River Lofts, that money's still available. And then
Karen,
there you can see how much we have remaining of the McKinley from Ready 1.0.
Same time.
We did purchase another house at 720 North Walnut. That closed, and those funds have been spent from the MRC. But there's still some funds available. We will need to demolish that at some point. And then there's monies that we have set aside for Till Pond and the parks total there, $239,290 remaining. So you go to the second page, you can see how those parks break out. A couple of them are down to zero or close to zero.
I mean, obviously, this is the mayor of Muncie. It's Dan Ridenour.
A number of them still have considerable funds, which would be, for example, the skate park. So that's one where we've been paying out of the MRC funds for the engineering work and getting the bid documents ready. What we are waiting for to start the construction on the skate park is the DNR permit. West Side Park is in a flood zone, so we have to, in order to do it correctly, we have to go to the state, which we've done about 6 months ago. They said it's a 4 to 6 month process. It's clearly not 4 or 5 months.
I was told today or yesterday, sometime here recently, I was told that Charlize said, hey, you need to watch this MRC. So I watched quite a bit of it, but we're going to hear some interesting stuff happen here. So we'll take this will take this walk?
We're right at the 6-month process, so we expect approval at any time. As soon as that's done,
Listen, they're still
as soon as we receive that permit from
we've been dealing with for 3 years.
DNR to start construction, then we will put it out for bid. The construction documents are ready to go, and we will then choose someone to build the park and start construction. That will be just for the public's notice and everyone else. We've mentioned this a number of times, but not everybody sees everything that we do. But that will be from the current basketball courts at Westside Park to Tillotson. That is the area where the skate park will be. So they'll use existing parking and all of that.
Real quick, I want to pause this. Hey, Janet, welcome. I know that, first of all, I know that you can't see all of the comments because you're on Facebook. So there are some people that are commenting here that are from YouTube. And I want to thank you for tuning in. In fairness, I do political commentary. If you don't know me or very much about me, I am a conservative, a true conservative. I'm not a Republican, because a bunch of these Republicans have way pissed me off. I think that they are spineless, and they left me, I didn't leave them. So I consider myself a right-leaning libertarian, maybe, constitutionally minded, what is it? Kind of God, country, guns, that kind of thing. Personally, Dan is a good guy. I'll just tell you, he has really not lived up to what he ran as in the first election in 2019. He's done a lot of things wrong. And his stance on solar, I don't think he has a stance on solar. I think that any Tom, Dick, or Harry con man could come along and say, hey, I got a deal for you. And Dan would say, okay. We about did a solar project that I would have been absolutely happy with if it would have made sense, but his numbers didn't match up. And thank God we were protected by the council. The council stopped that. And because of that, he stopped going to the council. He now does everything else. And Charlize hit the nail on the head with Dan's quote of the century. Not everyone sees what we do. I love it. I love it. I love it. If it lets me blow money, I'm for it. I generally say if it's free, it's for me. But, some people out here likes spending money. Janet, I will also have a lot more about the solar projects. I've had other commentary about the solar projects back through other videos that you might want to go back on YouTube and look. You can find us at The Political Spotlight on YouTube. It's The Political Spotlight at youtube.com/at The Political Spotlight. There, producer Kate has it at the bottom. You can find those there. And I will be doing more commentary, but just for fairness, so the rest of tonight's video will not be about the solar, and will just be about the city of Muncie and stuff. So I hope that you stay around, and you're free to stay around and interact and comment. But if you are like, hey, this is cool, but I don't care about anything other than the solar, I just wanted you to know, just so you're like, wait, where's he? Why is he not talking about solar? I just wanted to be fair to you. So we love to have you. It's fantastic. You're always welcome here. But I just wanted to be upfront and honest with you, so you didn't think like, wait a minute, where's he talking about the solar again? So if you weren't here and you didn't see at the beginning, I did put this notice up about the solar committee. So that's there. It's also shared on social media. And I also post in the group, so I'll let you know, the solar crisis group, when I have other videos in the future on solar. Just FYI. I just wanted to let you know, because I know you're new here. Newish. I haven't really seen you commenting before. So I just wanted to let you know, ma'am, but you're free to stay and walk around and explore. So, all right, onward with Dan, spending money.
Part of the design. but it'll be that area. So just make sure you know. But that's the largest one we have available. It's the majority of the funds we have remaining. And I will tell you, several neighborhoods have commented and been very thankful that the MRC put money into some of the local parks. I know last month I received an email from the Granville neighborhood, which is where Jack's Park is, and there were some considerable funds there. We had been waiting for the equipment to come in. It came in. They've got it put in. So they have a new walking path. They've got their basketball courts were updated. They put in new playground equipment, and they are thrilled. So your efforts help our community have a better quality of life and quality of place. So wanted to touch on that. And so that number, that total number there is, those are not included in the bottom numbers that I talk about. So where you've got 1218 and we show our TIF, consolidated TIF balance, 876,000. From there down are what I call the consolidated TIF funds. The other ones are geared towards specific projects that we have going on. So I just wanted to let you know that's not part of the total. But $876,929.99 is what is in that consolidated TIF. That's what we use to pay bond payments. Our controller mentioned that there were a couple smaller bond payments. We have a lot of large ones that come through in January. That's why we want our balance to be as it is. Nearly $1 million in payments is what we make on some of the old bonds. And then we have several other cash accounts, including the general fund. All those are totaled together, gives you that 300,000. So we should end the year around 1.7 million. And then of course, about $1 million of it's going to go away in January with the bond payments. And then we have all the allocated funds that are at the top portion of your page. Just wanted to give those updates. Any questions on any of the financial part of it?
I think so.
I will say I've done some preliminary things for 24, but I felt it was appropriate for you to get where we should, roughly where we'll end in 23. But we have some properties that are sold that should be closing. So I think our position will be a little different. And in the January meeting, we'll go through where we will end up at the end of 24.
I have a question
Yes.
concerning the parks. And I know I see a lot more probably than some of the others here do. Is there any way that the Parks Department could take photos? Doesn't have to be anything fancy,
right.
but come
would
in
not be
and
hard.
show us the work that's been done in the different parks. I mean, I haven't been out to the
It would not be hard. As you're aware, Charlize, the city of Muncie has they have I don't know, I was having a stroke there. The city of Muncie have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have at least 5 TVs in that room. And in that room, they have cameras that shoot directly on the TV. And when Roger Overby did these, from time to time, they would have those things show. They also have a HDMI cord that hooks up to a laptop. And if what the presenter was putting was on a laptop, it would digitally appear on our screen. Most governments do that. It would take a little bit of transparency, a little bit of wanting to, and a little bit of just a small amount of know-how. It would be great, if they could do the right thing. But,
the parks. Like I said, I've seen probably more than the rest of them have. But yeah, I just love to see what we've done and have that presented to this board, that these are the changes that were made in all these parks.
Yeah, I think that's a great, and we may have some photos, because I know we as a city have posted, for example, the pickleball courts at
the last year, basically during my campaign, while the city campaigned for me, We posted all
ultimate.
this crap.
That was part of what you funded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Who funded it? Who funded it? How about the citizens of the city of Muncie funded it? They didn't fund it. They just voted.
But I know we've posted on that, and we've posted playground equipment at Morningside.
But again,
But I think
doesn't
having a
always see what we
presentation
done-
for the
what we-
MRC
what we
to
do.
show the where your efforts went and where your funds went would be a nice presentation. I will ask Carl, Park Superintendent Carl Malone, to come to next month's meeting.
Right.
Well, remember,
Or for
it's
people to be
his
moving, so-
edit fund,
Yeah.
my edit fund, the mayor's edit fund. It's he never gives any credit to the taxpayers.
You're right.
It's taxpayers' money. It's the people's edit fund.
Yes. Yes. All right. Forward ho.
So it's not a
you're
prime
right.
month, but there's been a lot of activity with questions from the public on how do we apply for these? How do we get into these? And we have shared that information. It's on Pivotal Dash, just for the public, if anybody's watching this and wants to know how to do it, it's Pivotal Dash Communities
.com.
.com,
Yeah.
I believe. And then you put in Muncie. They have communities all across the Midwest. They're based in Cincinnati. They also did the lofts at Roberts. That's the company that did it. But you put in Muncie and City View 1 and 2 will come up. The townhomes obviously are bigger. There are a number of attached townhomes that are going up. Those take longer to do. And they started with 9 houses that were identical in 9 different locations across the city. But 5 of those, I think, have received certificates of occupancy. So just wanted to let you know that's moving forward. Many of them are finished, and they are actively now looking for tenants in today or in the future. I wanted to give a brief update on Southern Terrace. If you remember, this is another one
Okay.
where it was a state sponsored tax credit development. So it's income based. And this one has 46 units total. 25 will be in townhomes in the land, the 3 or 4 acres that were directly south of the Apostolic Church at 20 and on the corner of 26th and Walnut at the stoplight. And that's also the entrance to Crestview, but they're putting in the townhomes there. There'll be, I think, 5 buildings, a total of 25 units will be going in there. And then the other 21 units, we partnered with the Muncie Land Bank, and we sold a number of MRC properties. So we've got properties that are current lots that we owned. We sold to the developer at a reduced price in order to invest into the project. They'll go off of our control. We mowed them all last year. So we won't have to control them any longer. And they will soon be single family homes in Whiteley, in Industry, and East Side neighborhoods. So those, it's due to close next week. To the best of our knowledge, I don't have a final date yet, but it's due to close here shortly on those properties, and they're ready to begin their construction starting in 24. So as the weather allows them, they'll start construction in
All right.
2024.
I want you guys to hear
So just
this.
wanted to give you that
I
update.
wanted you guys to
So
hear this update.
what we're
All
seeing
this
on the south
information.
side, you'll start seeing on the east and the
Now we're going to
northeast
start
side.
taking it along here.
Faculty and Muncie residents, but not geared towards students. So that Lilly grant, it amounts
The city of Muncie, what he's getting ready to talk about right here is a $35 million Lilly grant that Ball State was awarded. City of Muncie was not awarded this. Ball State was. Ball State is getting ready to do a $174.5 million glow up. They're getting ready to do, listen to me again, $174 million of glow up. And yes, Janet, 1000%. Eli Lilly is a horrible company. They're the ones that Governor Holcomb is holding the pocket of. They're involved in this LEAP situation that's going on, where the mayor of Lebanon is wanting to siphon off 100 million gallons of the Wabash River from Tippecanoe County down to Lebanon for their business park and this crazy LEAP deal. It's totally insane what's happening. We're going to have more on that in the future. Kate and Brandon and I talked to a city councilor from West Lafayette the other day, and we're going to have him on after the holidays into January. We're going to be doing some things together, but it's a horrible situation. What's going on? Eli Lilly is insane. Eli Lilly is the reason that the Indiana General Assembly will not consider the legalization of marijuana. And again, they could legalize marijuana tomorrow, and I am not a smoker. I would not partake. I'm not somebody that would eat gummies or whatever, but I think it should be legalized. I think it should help with tax revenue. What an adult wants to do in their own home, in their own room, without hurting anybody is their business. If they're hurting somebody, there are crimes, laws in place for that. We deal with that then. Marijuana should be looked at. Indiana is stupid for what we're doing. And it's because of Eli Lilly that we're going to be like the last state in the United States that legalizes. It's insane. But Eli Lilly gave Ball State $35 million, and they're going to use that along with this. What's interesting about this is Dan keeps Bilbrey has locked up your family for weed. We are going to Dan keeps talking about how the city of Muncie is going to have to get involved with this. Listen.
It's the $35 million. And on the front page of what you've received is, this is what was in the paper, I believe, and online, is the drawing of what will be their Performing Arts Center. On the left-hand side of that building, and then the right-hand side is the new hotel. And then across the street, you can see some apartments that do not exist currently. And these would be apartments for faculty and Muncie residents, but not geared toward students. So these are market rent apartments that will be going up.
How can they do that?
There'll also be first floor retail is the anticipation. And I believe in that first couple of blocks, there's some parking options that will be included in this. So anyway, I wanted you to have that. And then the next page is kind of a map of where their 5 phases are. Now, because of the Lilly grant, and this was also submitted as part of the Ready grant, because of that, they're moving forward with all of this at once. So you're going to see construction beginning on all of these phases pretty quickly, and should be this fall.
They're going to do everything at once.
But
I'm sorry. Do
Go
you know
ahead.
what the number was from the total investment?
Yes,
on the Lilly?
the total of the development is $174.5 million. Lilly granted Ball State $35 million to go toward that. And it's going for a number of things that are not even on this second page, but I'll share with you some of those. And then East Central Indiana did very, very well. There were only 6 that got awarded so far, but Earlham College in Richmond got 25 million, got 25 million. Whatever. And Taylor University in Upland got 30 million.
Wow.
And Taylor's doing a $100 million investment into their campus and areas around their campus.
Hey, thank God we did that free music concert with Don McLean, or else Ball State was going to pick up and leave, and we wouldn't have got this. So
174,500,000.
It's huge.
So in those 5 phases, there is a new performing arts center. There is a hotel. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is an apartment building for faculty.
You're absolutely right, Janet.
And retail on the first floor. That is right on University and McKinley. And that's part of in the picture, but that's phase 2 or site 2. They call it site 2 now because they're doing it all at once. Site 3 is going to be the innovation. I'll call it an innovation center. It will have some Ball State representation, but they'll also have space available. I believe it's going to be 40,000 square feet, multi-story, not 5 or 6, but I think 3.
How many of these do we need?
But a building that will have some small businesses in it, almost, an incubator type situation. So they're hoping to have some small businesses in there. Site 4 is more of a gathering space. Is ultimately what that's going to be. And then Site 5 are townhomes and single family homes. Ball State owns some property. These are being developed and will be in the tax rolls. Now, the Performing Arts Center and the Innovation Center are not going to be on the tax rolls. Those will be Ball State. But $98 million of the $174 million will be taxable for the MRC and or the city. The little dotted lines that we placed on there show you what is currently inside the TIF district. So
Boy, it would be nice
we
if
will
we could
have to do some work to,
I'm going to request all this.
if
through
we
a record
want to
request
maneuver
form,
some
and I'll
things
put it out.
around. It's not my intent.
Listen to this.
It's your, I don't have a vote, but it's not my intent to borrow,
Listen to this.
to participate, but there's going to be some infrastructure needs
Listen to
that we should help with.
what?
But I also know that the 35 million from Lilly makes things a little easier. I know $1 million of what Lilly gave is going directly toward the trail, which is to go from Ball State to downtown. So it's earmarked for just that purpose. I know they have $1 million earmarked toward infrastructure, but I do anticipate that we're going to be participating. The MRC will be participating in some ways. I don't know what those are yet at this point, but there's going to be a lot of infrastructure adjustments and needs
For a future
that
15 minutes?
we will want to help, and it will develop. There's going to be $98 million worth of
Eli Lilly,
development.
scary.
And it'll produce about $1.5 million in annual property tax revenue.
That's exactly the very first thing I thought when I heard this, Janet.
Depending
Yeah,
on
I would
the mix, but
Yeah.
probably in that range or so.
Hell,
More favorable than that.
Muncie's a
So I just wanted the MRC to be aware of what was happening. It's been in the paper, so but it's a huge investment in our community, and we are very excited that Ball State not only got the Lilly grant, but that they're moving forward with this. I know the hotel is under contract, so that is moving. And that will really help our needs. We have some major challenges. It's a Hilton brand, a tapestry. So it'll be a Hilton tapestry, kind of a boutique. It'll be 100 rooms though, or 98 rooms, I think is what I heard.
Absolutely.
But it'll be in that size, and should help us quite a bit. We've had some conventions that I'm told by our conventions sales staff at Horizon that we've lost some opportunities because there just weren't enough hotel rooms, especially of the quality that the convention goers are needing and expecting. So this will be an addition to that. And also with that, the new Holiday Inn Express that's going up will help alleviate some of that challenge as well. When we had done the study, of course, we've moved off of, because there's 3 hotels now under development, we've moved off doing the East Side Hotel. But when we did the study, it said we could easily handle 3 and even 4 hotels based on the need.
To me.
So we view this as very positive.
Can
I
I just
mean-
add a couple comments, Mr.
Sure.
Mayor, if you don't mind?
What
What
I
study
probably have
was
the
that? Was
most
it one done by Ball State?
recent experience as a student at Ball State.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, what study is it that he's citing? Is it one that was done by Ball State?
Done by Ball State, probably. Yeah, right. Now, all right, here we go. Let's listen to was the Horizon Center the place for women in crisis, similar to the place Sean Byram wanted to put in front of I don't know what's Horizon. No, I don't think so. I don't know what that is, what all that is. Okay, let's go on here.
I'm a
don't
recent
think
grad,
so.
more or less. And I lived on university while I was in college there as well. And I've been a long time quiet arguer that it should be our goal to push development of the university closer to downtown to increase that connectivity. There are multiple studies that show that the better a university is connected to.
This kid's eyes are on both sides of his head. I don't even understand what goes on. I've been a long time quiet arguer. I've been arguing with myself in my bathroom mirror. Hey, we really need to push the Ball State downtown, man.
To the locality as a whole, but specifically a downtown, there's more development, there's more thriving in that community that occurs. Athens, Ohio University,
Janet,
not Ohio State, but Ohio University in Athens.
I am so happy
is
that
a great
you're
example.
here.
So I'm really excited about this.
I don't know
You
where
mentioned the
you've been
connectivity
or
of the trail
whatnot,
as
but I'm
well
glad you're here.
to
I
downtown,
agree
pushing
with you.
students, not pushing students off campus, but encouraging students to have that connectivity to the downtown space, I think will be huge for us as a community. That way students aren't always just having to hop on a bus and go to Walmart to get what they want and need. Because that's what happens right now, truthfully. And so I think this is a really exciting thing, and we should really encourage it as much as possible. So yeah, I'm excited.
Great. Any other
Probably
comments at this point?
But that's probably very true.
Okay.
Congratulations to Ball State.
Yes.
Yes. And then Ready 2.0,
Wasn't
I
it
just wanted to let you know kind of the status of where things are on that. The state will be here, by the way, in January, touring what happened with Ready 1.0, but also
What happened
discussing
with
what the region, East Central Indiana, is doing toward Ready 2.0. It's been a quite different process this time, much more involving of the communities. And so we anticipate, we don't know, we got 15 million last time, but as a East Central Indiana, but I would expect 30, 40 or 50.
Happy winter solstice, everybody. It is 10:27 p.m. This is the very moment that it's the longest day of the year, longest night of the year, shortest day of the year, worst day of the year, I guess you could say. It's 10:27 p.m., folks. Do you know where your sun is? All
50 million this particular time. You can get up to 75 million. I guess I should dream big. Maybe we'll get 75 million. But we do have, what Taylor is doing, what Earlham is doing, what Ball State is doing provides big dollars. And that's something that gets a lot of points when you're talking with the state, which is funding this.
Well, there's a match requirement. This will all
Yes.
count in the match for the portfolio of stuff in this region, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So we've been working, we've had county meetings, multiple county meetings, which I know some of you have attended.
Where's those county meetings?
We've also
I've
had
not heard anything about
we've had
those.
meetings within the group
I've not heard anything
that
about
included
those.
other counties. And we've been scoring. So
Along with
I'll just tell you, we
Big
started with
Sky, too.
25 developments in Delaware County, narrowed that down to 10, and then ultimately have picked 5. Each county now has picked 5,
Yes.
and what we are currently charged with
No,
is
I am not wise.
helping get the group down to the 10
You're Jack, and I am not
most
on
valuable
stage.
to
Oh,
East
why?
Central Indiana developments.
What the hell?
And so that's what we're currently working on. So it's quite a process, that's kind of where it is. I will tell you what Muncie scores well. what is part of our charge, so to speak, or what we're doing is we partnered with Ball State. So helping with the Ball State to help pay for some of that infrastructure is part of it, because you're talking about 5 different sites, and most of them are off campus. So so we put that in, which helps with the matches as well in the other communities that don't have match money.
Yes.
But in addition to that, we have the trail to get to downtown. Then downtown,
Right.
we are looking at what can we do with the river. So we've got what we call Shine Muncie is part of it. And it's a lighting. If you've been to South Bend, you would know what we're talking about. If you've ever been to downtown South Bend, how they have their river is lit up, both inside the river and around the river. We're looking at something like that. We're also looking at a housing development downtown. We're also looking at a pedestrian bridge.
Oh, the Rainbow
that
Bridge is
attaches to
back.
Muncie
The
Central.
Rainbow Bridge is
Beautiful,
back.
From
magical
Minnetrista, we're
rainbow
also
glass
looking
bridge with
at
flying unicorns.
upgrading doing some improvements to the Muncie Fieldhouse. So we put that in our particular grant.
What
And
are
then
we
also
talking about?
we're working, there's a lot that has to be done.
Seems shaking back and forth.
But I'm told I've not been the one personally doing
Biden
this,
he
but
is.
there are some working with the neighborhood to try and see if we can come up with a way to incorporate the trail to go through Tui Park to downtown
yeah,
rather than just on the streets.
He's talking about Tui,
It
everybody.
just seemed appropriate, but we want the neighborhood's buy-in first. So that is still being done, but we put in dollars to make that happen. These are not awarded. So, the state could come in and say, you get 30 million, we have to cut some things out. Or the state could say, you get 75 million, we can do everything we want. But those are what's part of the Muncie
What do you mean,
project, which
and
was
Dan?
one of the top 5
Yeah.
in Delaware County, which we
What- no. 30 million, and he would have to cut some stuff that he wants to do?
Yeah. Listen. Yeah. Listen to that again. Let me do that again.
Oh.
seemed appropriate, but we want the neighborhood's buy-in first.
Oh my God.
So that is still being done, but we put in dollars to make that happen. These are not awarded. So, the state could come in and say, you get 30 million, we have to cut some things out. Or the state could say, you get 75 million, we can do everything we want. But those are what's part of the Muncie project, which was one of the top 5 in Delaware County, which we anticipate we would expect to be one of the top 10 and hope that it would get some award. But I wanted you to know roughly what the Muncie proposal had in it. And then there were other proposals in Delaware County that were not part of Muncie, that were not part of what we submitted. But we did partner with Ball State and wanted to make sure those dollars were available to the other communities that don't have matching dollars. Because we want to build East Central Indiana. We want to build Muncie, but we also want to, if we can offer assistance by letting Ball State, working with Ball State, it makes a lot of sense to do it that way. So any questions on 2.0?
Lots of questions. Look,
The deadline to get it down to the top 10 is
Not a
today.
damn word from any of them. He's
So
talking about
I'll be
spending almost
working on finishing that up.
$75 million, not a
assistance
peep.
by letting Ball State,
hold on. Listen to what he just said. Listen.
working with Ball State, it makes a lot of sense to do it that way. So any questions on 2.0?
Listen to what he says.
The deadline to get it down to the top 10 is today. So I'll be working on finishing
You got
that
things to do when
up.
you're done.
I'll be finishing that up. I'm through many of them, but I still have a number to do.
Well, I think, I don't know how that's, I don't know the award process for that, but, we said this a couple meetings ago,
Listen, Charlize, it's so hard to follow any of them when they speak. And I'm going to tell you why I think that is. I think it's because there's 2 things going on, okay? there's what they know is really happening because they've all talked about it behind the scenes, off camera, out of our earshot and eyeball view. They all know what they're doing, what they're going to talk about versus what's actually happening. Then they get up there and there's things that they're saying and they're trying to put on a little dance and a horse and pony show for the public. And they don't know, they want to be careful. I mean, it's hard to understand anything that they're saying, and it's definitely intentional. Listen to them stoop and stammer and stolor and carrying on and all the craziness that happens. They all sound like that. All of them. The Board of Work sounds like that. The MRC sounds like that. The county's version sound like, they all sound like that because they're afraid. They don't want to say something that they shouldn't be saying in front of everybody. That's what I mean, listen, if I'm wrong, Dan, and I know that you watch, prove it to me. Prove that I'm wrong. Prove I'm wrong, Isaac. Prove I'm wrong, Jeff.
This $174 million, there's a lot of private investment being put in. And sometimes I look at that and think, there are a number of people that are pretty bullish on Muncie, but they wouldn't put their money where their mouth is, right? We've had some really big investments. So beyond the investment, just the vote of confidence.
If you listen to what the mayor said, any questions? Nobody's asking questions. They're saying words. Isaac's up there shaking his head like, yep. I was just thinking that same thing, boss. Ain't nobody asking any questions. There's no questions because they can't ask questions because they're not allowed to ask questions because it's what Dan is doing and it's the runaway train, man. It's just a bunch of ass kissing, man. That's all it is.
Or their assessment of the value of being here is pretty meaningful, and hopefully that weighs in. But this, I think there's terrific opportunity here, and as goes development, it'll spark new development, and so I'm really encouraged. I know the university and the hospital. I've been in some meetings, and in the school corporation, I've been having some discussion about some of that further connection too that you've been talking about. So I think it's. I think it is a work in process. I think we'll see some of that happen, but good luck.
So it's exciting, and we look forward to it. And there's no guarantee of future readies. So because as governors change, which this one will, because you can't run 3 times in a row. It may not be a priority for the next administration. So. We hope to do, and we've been working collaboratively as we can with the other counties and the other cities to make sure things are beneficial to all of East Central Indiana and Muncie, which is the largest city, and Delaware County, which is the largest county in East Central Indiana. And we think that we've got a good start. So we're hopeful, very hopeful.
I don't even know what he said.
So that's it as far as my update. Do you want to start on North Walnut?
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay. So there's an offer that we received, not in time for the agenda, but it is to take care to purchase 5 lots on North.
Listen, who it is?
Walnut.
Does anyone want to take a guess? Who's going to buy 5 lots?
3 of those lots are owned by the Muncie Redevelopment Commission. 2 are owned through our pass-through.
3 are owned by the city of Muncie. 2 are owned by our pass-through. That's his words, not mine. What's our pass-through? Does anybody know what the pass-through is? If anybody can say Delaware Advancement Corp, DAC, you probably would win a prize. Let's hear.
Which is DAC.
Oh!
So 2 are listed in DAC's name. So the purchase agreement doesn't necessarily reference all of that, but it
of course it doesn't.
What I would like to do is to get your discussion. I know The builder is here. It's a
Ooh.
local company.
Now, some people think he might have been looking back at Ed Canancer, but I'm going to tell you it's not Ed Canancer he's looking at.
And they have a certain intent that they would like to do, which certainly meets what the neighborhood has desperately been
go.
asking for.
Here
So
we
that's
go.
exciting. What they've designed meets the
go.
neighborhood standards, which is important.
Who is it?
And it also meets needs that we have as a community,
Ooh.
which is providing some additional home ownership opportunities in the McKinley neighborhood.
Ooh,
So this would
right
be
downtown.
pretty much almost, it's directly across the street from Muncie Central.
Directly across the street
so
from Muncie Central.
The lots are
That should give people
7,
yes.
10, 712, 714, 716, and 718 North Walnut.
Okay.
And they're described there.
Just right there.
And, rather than me, Jonathan, do you want to come up?
Jonathan, there we go. Jonathan, does anybody have a guess?
Well, they
So
didn't get
this
the
is
bid
Jonathan
for the
Chambliss.
crisis center.
Hi.
So he's got to give him a cookie somewhere.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I was thinking that when I heard this. They didn't get the crisis center. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Jonathan Chambliss.
Muncie resident.
And he's with Crew Construction.
Co-owner, Crew Construction.
Right.
Like I said, Muncie local resident here and developer, builder, contractor.
Dude, what is he 9 foot tall?
Any questions about?
Like for real. I better not be pissing this guy off. Like this guy is seriously 9 foot tall. What is going on? I love crew builders. Give these guys these properties.
About it, I'd be happy to answer.
I'm just glancing at this now, kind of going through it now. What is your intent to do on this property?
The intent is to build 7 townhomes. We initially submitted a design packet a few months ago with 6 townhomes.
Mhm.
We've revised that a little bit.
They
added the
revised it
7.
a little bit. They want to buy 5 properties and fit 7 townhomes on it. They were going to build 6 townhomes on 5 properties, but they revised it a little bit, and they're going to put 7 townhomes on 5 lots. So, okay.
But yeah, that'd be the intent, to build 7 townhomes, owner occupied. We might keep a couple just
Dan
for
is
like
36. That is
Airbnbs or
right.
short-term rental type of thing, but we haven't decided yet.
Jonathan was saying, brought pictures that mid.
This is the
late
true
sum-
crew
some-
builder.
Yeah.
Late summer-ish.
July,
Yeah.
Still-
September, something like that.
Yeah.
August.
Wait a second.
Mhm.
Owner
Yeah.
occupied, but they might hang on to a few as rental properties. Is that what he said?
Uh-huh. As Airbnbs or however it goes. That's what happens with everything in Muncie. Because everybody, listen to me. You know what's happened, city of Muncie citizens? The old Delaware County Jail downtown. It looked like a triangle. It was really weird, ugly, horrible from the very start. The city of Muncie paid a developer and his sons $600,000 to take that building basically off the city's hands and turn it into a high-end condos, but they're only making 15 of them. And of those 15, the builders get 3 or 4 of them. So it's like, they're only making 10 or 11 high-end condos in the jail, in the old jail. Who would want to live in the old jail? Above a car parking lot? It's just very strange, all this.
Above a car parking lot that Dan signed a lease on.
Yeah. No, yeah, the city for millions and millions of dollars over the course of 30 years
Yeah.
into the future. And the question is, who would want to live across from Muncie Central? However, you're thinking about Muncie Central now. You're not thinking about Muncie Central in a few years from now when all of this 15-minute city stuff starts happening. I've seen the future. I've seen the drawings they have, and Muncie does not look like Muncie anymore in Dan's dreams. Muncie does not look like Muncie. He's always the middleman. That's very true statement. Very shifty what they got going on.
Did they bid this out?
What?
Did they bid this out?
I don't know. This is MRC. We don't bid things out with MRC.
Oh, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah,
I forgot. This is one of the backdoor jobs.
Yes.
This one and DAC are the back doors.
Yeah, the
Board of
push
Works is
thing.
half a back door.
Yeah, the pass through. What is that? What he said?
That's an interesting terminology for him to be using, because that's
Yeah, why would
what
he
he's
say
used
that?
as. It's a pass through that goes around anyone that he'd have to be accountable to.
Yeah, right. Now, I do know for a fact he's already had a meeting with the new council. And folks, I'm telling you, get ready and hold on to your asses, because it's going to be a bumpy next 4 years in the city of Muncie. I'm telling you, it's going to be bumpy. You'd have to ask the mayor's economic development director, Kate. And for anybody that wants to know who the mayor's economic development director is, it's the weird little dude standing next to the giant. Dan's economic development director's name is Daniel Ridenour. And it's a very weird deal that they got going there. I don't know like what the deal is, but it's very strange situation. All right, let's hear more of this.
Thank you.
And these designs are exactly what the neighborhood was asking for. It provides
What neighborhood?
good density, and it takes these Muncie Redevelopment Commission vacant lots and turns them into something very productive and an opportunity for people to buy across from Muncie Central.
Or
So
rent.
we would hope that teachers and others might have an interest, but it's also going to be right across from the new YMCA that's going.
And these are the lots, the houses have been demoed already. Is that correct?
Yes. There are no houses on these particular lots.
They were
This is
demoed.
not the corner.
But they were demoed in the last administration, right?
Yeah,
To try to
mid-
clear out some of that
Well,
stuff across.
I think
Mid-block.
we may have demoed one. I don't
Okay.
know.
But I mean, the
But yes.
plan was just laid out then, and
Listen
Yeah.
to
we're
it.
getting those
Actually,
properties
I
under
think we
control.
just purchased a couple vacant lots.
So 720, you guys are starting to tear down.
Yep,
It's just
720,
north of this.
we just closed on. That's the one I
Right.
mentioned earlier. That's next to this one. It's not.
I
part
go
of
by there all the time, but I can't keep track of which lot's which.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So there should be, if you look at Columbus Avenue and Walnut, there should be 3 lots,
Mhm.
3 parcels there.
Mhm.
And then the next one would be 710, I believe, is our first, or 712. That'd be our first parcel.
okay.
We consider this to be phase 1 of like a multi-phase development there.
Right.
That we would hope to do more townhomes and then maybe some mixed-use buildings in the future.
Yeah.
But
Corner's still available.
yeah, I mean, we're not
Yeah.
taking off too much at a time. So
Yeah.
And is that structure, the house, still on 710 and 712?
No.
Or no?
there's
Okay.
nothing there.
It's gone.
That's what I'm seeing here on Beacon. So
It's the Muncie
What's your
Redevelopment
timeline?
Commission, folks.
We'd be hoping to start construction in the summer. We already have some designs out to review. We'd have to go through
No
architectural
questions, Jeff Hagar.
drawings and submit to the state. But once we have all that done, we can start whenever. We're working through financing right now. Hoping to have some answers back by the end of
They're
January.
working
for
through financing now. They
That's part
don't
of the
currently
purchase
have
agreement as
financing
well.
at plate
Pending financing,
up
so.
to speed.
But as far as construction timeline, we'd be hoping to be done by the end of the year, or maybe with a couple units moving into the
Lisa,
spring, finishing out the
yes.
last few.
welcome, Lisa. All
The schedule keeps sliding as we move along.
the
Well,
timeline.
and-
Yeah,
great.
He'll have to go to the planning commission
Yes.
because we're taking 5 lots. So there's 5 addresses currently, and those 5 will be turned into 7 addresses.
Mm.
So there'll be some adjustments that has to go to the planning commission anyway. But
Yes.
he needs ownership in order to move things forward.
Sure.
Both with his
Weird.
financer and with the planning
Weird.
commission. And
So vote today to give it to them right now.
Yeah.
And this adds
Yeah.
kind
They
of to the
don't have the
administration's
funding, they don't
goal
have
of
approval by the
developing
planning,
North
but
or
vote
up
and give it to
Walnut.
them.
Or we don't even have approval from the attorneys. I'm breaking, getting ahead of ourselves, but wait till you hear this.
From downtown as well too. That was another thing we had discussed in some of our meetings as well. So it's exciting.
I'm excited.
Yeah. I just need a motion to accept the agreement.
Need a
Is that what we
motion
need?
to accept? No question.
Yeah, if you've had a chance to look at it,
Listen to what
if
listen
there are
to what
any
the president just said here, folks.
conditions,
Listen to these words the president just says. Shireen Wegley, the mayor's secretary, says, oh, let's just need a motion to approve this or what? And then listen to what Jeff says.
Just need a motion to accept the agreement. Is that what we need?
if you've had a chance to look at it,
I do. If you have,
if there are any conditions, terms and conditions in here that we have any issues with, I don't know.
oh, anybody have any issues with anything?
I haven't read it all.
I haven't read it, so let's take a vote. I haven't read it.
Oh my God. Is this dude paying for this land?
Right now, they don't have financing. He's not right now. They need to vote on it and allow him to have it before he can do it.
This was the thing that Dan said wasn't on the agenda. He didn't have time to get this on the agenda.
Yep, this is just a jam it through, Dan.
Jam it
Listen,
through.
yeah, listen, Janet, and I'm not picking on you by any means. Again, I will say this again. I've said it for the last 4 years. Dan's a nice guy. He's not what he promised that he would be when he ran in 2019. And if this is blowing your mind,
This is just par for the course.
This is nothing. This is par for the course. The city of I'm just going to tell you this. Everyone else knows this, so it's going to be really sick. The city of Muncie in the last year has paid $300,000 for the old Workman's Bar. The Workman's Bar downtown that used to be catty corner from Kenny's floor covering. For a period, it was Muncie Tent and Awning. And down the street was GM for all the hundreds of years. The Workman's Bar, Dan, that was a whole nother cluster. But the city of Muncie has recently, over this last year, paid $300,000 for this building that we were going to turn from a bar into a crisis center for drug addicts. Now, after paying $300,000, we're going to now tear that building down. So the building that we've been paying $300,000 for, we're going to tear it down and chuck it to a dump. And then we're going to pay another close to $1 million to build a brand new building back there in its space, and then continue to pay a large, exorbitant amount of money to run it. And the guys standing
go back further than that, Kristopher.
Well, yeah.
How did the city end up owning the building?
Well, so the guys standing at the podium are making money off of that deal. The guy standing at the podium with Dan. What producer Kate is talking about is, if you want to know how the city of Muncie came to be in this situation, Dan Ridenour's right-hand man, Dustin Clark, and the elected city clerk own a corporation together called American Bar Company. And they bought the company, they bought this property, 809 West 8th Street, Workman's Bar, off of another company. And they bought it for $60,000.
Mm-hmm.
And a month later, they sold it to a shadow organization for $70,000. ECIBG. When they sold it, they kept the liquor license. And then that company, ECIBG, that bought that building for $70,000, then 9 months later sold it to the city for $130,000. And
to the city through
DAC, Delaware County Advancement Corp.
And the mayor used edit money.
Edit money and ARP money, ARP money, COVID money. And the city clerk.
So they needed no approval on it.
Yep.
No inspections on it.
Yep.
Spend $300,000 to find out the building is termite infested and has to be torn down.
The city clerk, who was running for election that time as a nice and wonderful Republican, supposed to be conservative, didn't fill out the proper paperwork because they didn't want anyone to know all of this stuff. And we found that out here on the show. And we tried to fight them because by law, because she didn't fill out that paperwork, the county clerk should have booted her from running, but he didn't. And it was a big cluster.
Jeff Hagar's got a great point here too. This builder that's talking up here right now, that they gave him over $40,000 to work on Workman's that they are burning it down now. When did he start?
What's he done? Any examples? Well, that's a good question. Audie Barber, who is on here a lot, he asked him at a meeting about 2 months ago, hey, how long have you guys been in business? And he said, oh, we went into business about a month ago.
Yeah, they started in what? September or October of last year?
Yeah, a month before everything started. They started in like September. They started in September, and all of the stuff with Workman started in October. So, yet Troy was booted from the ballot for some periods in wrong places and, paperwork errors. So there's a lot. This is just icing on the cake. This is just like everybody here is this is just par for the course.
Roofing trusses, Julie. Roofing trusses. It's in the roof.
Yeah.
And interior walls.
Yeah, the walls and stuff. And the thing is, we just had an election, and this man was reelected, and he won by like 500 some votes. And it's because so many people, think he's a nice guy. They don't know the true story. They don't really know things are going on. They're not paying attention to these meetings and things, and that's why it's important to help spread the word and get the word out, spread things about this show.
This particular instance is one example. Workman's is another example. The jail is another example. The Y is an example of Dan going around the council through these tiny little boards where they walk in and they just rubber stamp without asking any questions, without reading even the contract, because Dan will walk in and say, this wasn't on the agenda. Oh, but I need it done now.
Yeah, because
$300,000, $500,000, $1 million, whatever the hell it is. We won't talk about the damn housing Michael's Place. Michael's
Place was a situation where a con man from Georgia came up here and told Dan he wanted to do this great big apartment complex. Dan was like, okay, cool. And everyone's like, things don't look right. Dan actually went down to Georgia and did this great big world tour. He went to Tennessee and Georgia. He went to Macon, I think, Tennessee, Memphis, and all of that. And looked at an apartment complex that we then find out was all a sham. They took him to buildings they didn't own, and it was all a shell game. And then they ran off. Now they own property in Muncie that they're not doing anything with. It's just all crazy. And Lisa, you're right. They will tell you, if you read, if you watch, if people pay attention, it's not hard to find all this out. I've found all of this through records that they have given me. I've asked for records and they give it to me. And I watch these meetings and we see it. So it's just getting people to pay attention.
But this Dan always knows what is best. And the taxpayers of Muncie end up putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into projects that people that sit on these boards will simply say, okay, I'm sure it's fine.
Yep. Southway Plaza, Phase 2 of the riverfront's already been voted for, nothing done. And I don't even think we're to the crazy part of the money. Is there still some crazy money stuff to come, Charlize? Is there still some crazy money stuff to come in this, or are we through that?
I need alcohol if there's more money involved.
Yeah, thank you, Janet. I'm glad you're here, and I hope that we can continue spreading awareness. And the county government's the same way, and the town governments are the same way, and the state is the same way. It's all insane. It is all insane, folks. It's like this all the way up and down, and that's why we need people aware and involved. All right. Okay. Good. Thank God. Thank God. Okay. So we'll get through the rest of this real quick.
Speed read.
Right.
There might be some information that needs to be added, like title company and other information like that. But
Listen to this.
We've got some stuff that's stricken out on about 4 pages back, 5 pages back. So
Yeah, I don't think it's applicable.
If I might, maybe it's possible to approve subject to legal's review.
Yeah.
yeah,
So I'll make a motion to approve subject to the legal review.
Second.
a motion and a second.
And they
Commissioner Miller?
quit reading.
Yes.
Commissioner Probella?
Yes.
Commissioner Tomlin?
Yes.
Look
Commissioner
at them
Wagler?
thinking they
Yes.
really done
I vote
something.
yes. All right.
Good luck.
Good luck to you, Jonathan.
All right.
I'm glad to see these off the mowing.
Yeah.
I pay those bills every month here, so there go a bunch of properties.
That's good. Okay. So the next bullet point is the bullet point we had just added. So it's the 225 South Madison. To be clear, because I'm not clear on the number, on the address, but it's the gas
From what it
station
says here.
that's there on
So
South
I think
Madison. We
225
talked about
Just a
technology.
disaster for them.
So without getting into all the gruesome details, we had
Okay.
sold the lot
shit that we
or
really
the
need to know.
building under the condition that it would be repaired, restored, rebuilt, and that did not happen. Within our purchase agreement, we got the property back. It has since been, it is being used by the fire department, and the fire department has a use for it for the foreseeable future. So I would ask for this body's approval to just deed the property out of the MRC to the city of Muncie.
Okay. We're just going to give it to the
for
city.
its use. So we don't have any care and maintenance of it any further. So
Great.
if anybody is so inclined,
I would make that motion.
Second.
we have a motion and a second to deed the property at 225 South Madison to the city of Muncie. Commissioner Miller.
Yes.
Hey, we'll get through this.
Go about it.
Okay. I knew I'd heard something about
And
it.
listen to this.
Angle of land that basically held some pipe and that kind of thing for several years, but they're having a lot of maintenance issues there. A lot of dumping trash, they're having to clean it
When did
up.
development bring this to us a couple months ago?
I don't think so.
No? Okay.
Mm-mm.
Oh, I thought
No,
that
because
was-
sanitary district called like a couple weeks ago about it.
Okay. I
Yeah.
knew I'd heard something about it before.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, go ahead, please.
So they actually in their last meeting, they already voted to give it to us if we want it. And we actually have an individual that owns adjacent property that's interested in it. So we can take it in and then hopefully that person will come next month and purchase it. It's a tiny little
Mhm.
lot.
So your motion today, or
Yeah.
your
It's the area that
You're on in your
after dark, the adult shop used to be on at the corner of Godman and Nichols.
agenda,
It's this one.
the offer to purchase on 514 West Howard Street. So we just need to, we're going to need to make these lots available to people. So we do not have people in mind, but I will tell you that I think there'll be probably a need on, or an opportunity on South Vine, because that's several lots directly adjacent to each other.
Yeah.
So that's the type of thing that you find that the tax credit developers are very interested in, and maybe even a market rent developer would be interested in, because it's several properties. It's 5 properties directly next to each other.
Maybe they could turn those into 10 townhomes.
Okay.
That will get used a lot with both parks being next to each other, and just have a place for the neighborhood. It's a good central location in the neighborhood as well. So
As somebody who's been known to walk the streets downtown, I think a dog park would be a really good idea. A little less hazardous.
yeah,
The planting and
couldn't do it, then we'd just have it as like an extension of whatever that retail space business would be.
Sure. Awesome. Okay. That's all I had.
all right. So I think we're seeking a motion if
Print in the Old West End that we collaborated, and we made a proposal. We were able to sum up to about $4 million of kind of matching. So hopefully, we'll see what happens, but we hope that we can access some of that as well. And just kind of building off your comment, Isaac, about connecting Ball State and the downtown.
We
A
get
large
it.
number in the Old West Urban Planning Department. Some properties that we've been looking at connected to.
2 minutes per speaker.
Oh, all right. That's what I always love. They went on and on and on and on and on and on. These people work for the citizens. They are public. They are public folks. All right. They are public servants, and they've been blathering on, and they're like, all right, we're only going to give the citizens 2 minutes. And they tried to demand people give their names and address. You don't need to give your name. You don't need to give your address. And you have a First Amendment right to speak in a public building during a public meeting. I also, before everybody rolls out of here and before the end of this, I do want to let the people know that are new here tonight. We're here 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday. Sunday through Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. We are here Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now, we will be off tomorrow, and we will be off Saturday. Our days off are Saturday, Sunday. But however, because of the holidays, we're here tonight. We're off Friday. We're off Saturday. I will be on for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes Sunday night, Christmas Eve, just to say Merry, Happy Christmas Eve to everyone. Then we will be off Monday and Tuesday. We'll be here Wednesday, Thursday. We'll be off again Friday, Saturday. We'll be here Sunday. We'll be off Monday, and then we'll be back to regular. But we're here 5 nights a week at 9 p.m., and we always talk about local, state, or national government. Hey, it is what it is. And look at that, Brandon Clover's here. So, great. Hey, and we're going to start. I see you talking about the WEF, the World Economic Forum. I'm starting to dive into what's going on there too. So we'll be talking about that as well. All right, folks, I'm going to finish this up here. Here we go. Just wanted to give everybody a heads up that are new here tonight.
longer range strategic thinking that you've been doing. And so congratulations. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you for, the affirmation. And hopefully some of these things start to come to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We have public comment section, 2 minutes per speaker. Do we have anybody sign up? Okay.
I think Ed might have. Did you sign up? Yeah. So he's good.
Okay.
Good morning. Ed Knatzer, FC Tucker, Commercial Real Estate here in Muncie. And I want to introduce a new resident to Delaware County, Jadeep Singh.
Correct.
And his wife, Openeet. They are new residents out in Landings Trail, and he's interested in doing some economic development in Delaware County, and he wanted to know how he could be involved. And so I wanted to bring him this morning, introduce him. We're working on a couple potential projects, and I just thought it would be great for an introduction to know that we do have new people moving into Muncie, and they want to invest in Muncie.
Great.
So just want to introduce him, and if you want to say anything,
Jack.
feel free.
All of you.
Again, he had already introduced me. My name is Jack Deep Singh. My wife, she Upneath, she works for Dollar General in Marion. I work for Cummins Inc. I'm an engineer. Motivation to come here to Muncie is my daughter, she joined Ball State, and we want to live with her more time. So we bought a house here. So it's near to my wife's work. I'm working remotely. I have to go to 2 days to Columbus, Indiana. So I'm new to the community. I want to be part of the redevelopment commission here. So I want to add some value to Muncie local.
Interesting.
So I'm all here for.
Perfect.
So.
Well,
Welcome.
welcome. We
Well, yeah,
appreciate
thank
your
you.
interest and I think you're officially involved. You've shown up to the meeting. That's
Yeah.
good.
Thank you. Yeah, Merry Christmas, y'all. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
Merry
very much.
Christmas. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Okay.
I just like his IU sweatshirt, so I'm glad he's wearing that. It's good.
Here's had
We have
one
any-
other comment.
Huh?
I had one comment.
Yeah, Commissioner comment. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that where you're headed now?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I just wanted to note, everybody to take notice of the Christmas lights downtown. Remember, that's something we funded.
Absolutely.
Was it been 2 years ago or last?
2 years
At
ago.
least.
It's been
Yeah.
the second Christmas.
And how great they look. I see them and I think, hey, we helped pay for those. So
No, you didn't.
just wanted to know.
The citizens of Muncie did. I mean, I guess you're a citizen of Muncie, so yes, you helped pay for them, but get over yourselves. My God.
They look great.
I just now noticed that we approved the agenda, but our next meeting date is wrong. So.
Oh,
It says it's 2 days ago for our
Oh,
next
2
meeting.
days ago.
It's not right.
Well, the mayor was supposed to figure out time travel between then and now.
I thought
right.
he did.
All right.
Thought he
So, yeah. So next meeting is
did. January
January 18th.
Oh.
2024.
Okay. 2024. All right.
Assuming we're all here.
Yeah.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, did you hear that? Assuming we're all here. Like, well, what do you mean? What kind of smart ass comments are that? All right, folks. So you know, because you ask, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. The meetings in the city of Muncie that you need to know about are as such. Muncie City Council meetings occur on the first Monday of each and every month. Okay. The city council meetings occur on the first Monday of each month at 7 p.m. at the Muncie City Hall in the council chambers. You can go and attend in person. You can watch those meetings live streamed right here on this YouTube channel. I know some of our new people are watching on Facebook, but we are a YouTube channel on YouTube. You can watch either way. Eventually, if you guys stick around for a while, I'd like you maybe to convince you to jump over to YouTube. And the only reason is the majority of our commenters are also on YouTube. So you get a better experience because you're able to see what a majority of the people are saying. Kate does a good job of putting other people's comments up on the screen for you to see. But if you watch on YouTube, then you can see every comment. But I don't care if you watch on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, we're all of those places. But you can watch the meetings live streamed here. You can also watch them at a later date here. You can attend in person. Those are Mondays, the first Monday of the month of each month, unless there's a holiday, then it's the second Monday, generally, of the month at 7 p.m. The Board of Works meetings, those are very important. The council meetings are probably the most important. The Board of Works meetings are every Wednesday at 9 a.m. And that's in the same area in the city council chambers uptown. You can attend that in person. You can also watch those here in the evening. On Wednesday evenings, we go through them. Here, they're pretty short. We go through them. They're not anything like this. Sometimes the shortest meetings are like 6 minutes. The longest meetings are like half an hour. But we normally go through those each Wednesday in the evening here at 9 p.m. You can also watch it on the city's Facebook page, the City of Muncie. This is called the Muncie Redevelopment Commission, the MRC. They are they're the third Thursday of every month at 9 a.m. in the morning. You can attend in person in the city council chambers, or we go over them here in the evenings. And that's the City of Muncie. The Board of Works meetings I just told you about is every Wednesday morning. Every Wednesday they meet. They pay the bills throughout the week, each week, so they meet every Wednesday. This is once a month, the third Thursday of the month. City Council is the first. Delaware County meetings, your commissioners' meetings, they meet at 9 a.m. in the morning, the first and the third Monday of each month in the morning at the county building. And you can watch those meetings on YouTube. I live stream some of them. The ones I don't live stream, we talk about them, but you always get feedback here. You also have your council meeting, which occurs the third or the fourth Thursday of the fourth Tuesday of each month at 9 a.m. The same thing with that. And then we talk about all local, city, county, state, and federal government that goes on. We talk about any kind of corruption. Our intent here is to better government through citizen involvement. We talk about governments going on in Muncie, Delaware County. I've done stuff in Gaston before, like in the town of Gaston. Do stuff in Madison County, in Anderson, in Newcastle, in Henry County, Winchester, Randolph County, kind of around East Central Indiana. Definitely at the state level. So would love to have all of the new people back. Would love to have you guys. And yeah, it's fantastic. We definitely are there caring about citizens' comments, citizens' involvement, and communication, transparency, and accountability. I like if you're a Republican or a Democrat, and we can agree to disagree. You're not going to like or respect everything that I say or do, but you're not going to hate everything that I say or do either. And we can have differing opinions and still get along. I have no problem with that. I probably will piss you off at some point, but just breathe. We'll get through it. And I appreciate you guys for checking things out. Please help share the show, spread the word. That meeting was very long, and we did not get through the Dream with Dan. I will watch the Dream with Dan. I know there's some good parts of the Dream with Dan, and we will talk about it on maybe I might do a little talk about it on Sunday, Christmas Eve, or whatever. If not, we'll hit it when we get back. I'm off Friday. I'm off Friday and Saturday. I will not be here, but I am going to be releasing shorts. I have some new shorts that I'll be putting out on YouTube. Maybe I'll be releasing some other content, static videos I might be releasing. And we are on TikTok now, so please check that out. Everything, that's the Political Spotlight. You can follow me at Kristopher H. Bilbrey on Facebook. You can also follow us at Bilbrey Live on Twitter. It's also the Political Spotlight, so you can find us all there. Thank you all very much. Let's see here. I'm a staunch conservative Christian who was always a Republican until lately. I'm starting to lean more libertarian. Hey, Janet, I love hearing that. That is fantastic. We are good friends with Donald Rainwater here. I don't know if you know anything about Donald Rainwater, but he is your libertarian candidate that's running for governor. In 2020, he came very close to doing a wonderful thing. He won like second place or better in like 32% of the counties out of Indiana's 92 counties. We have him on the show all the time. We're going to have him on the show on February 1st, June 6th, and October 3rd next year. So we got him booked at least 3 times currently. Our first time that we'll have him on is February 1st. If you don't know anything, okay, you voted for him. I love it. Well, great. If you want to watch a great interview, we'll be having him on again on February 1st. So you'll have to definitely tune into that. But I appreciate you guys for sticking around and watching this. And we'd love to have you back. We're here 5 nights a week, Sunday through Thursday. So at 9 p.m. Help us out. Share the show with everyone you know. You can find us on YouTube. That's the best place to find us. And we will see you guys all next time. Goodbye. Take care. God bless. And have a good night. Goodbye.